The unfolding saga surrounding Gervonta Tank.Davis is a complex tapestry of fame, fortune, and legal entanglements that threatens to overshadow his remarkable career as a world champion boxer. At just 30 years old, Davis stands at a crossroads, his legacy teetering between brilliance in the ring and chaos outside it. Once hailed as the heir to Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s throne, Davis now finds himself embroiled in a federal investigation that has cast a dark shadow over his accomplishments, raising questions about his financial dealings, personal conduct, and the influences that have shaped his path. What began as a quiet probe into his finances has escalated into a full-blown inquiry, with allegations of money laundering, undeclared income, and potential ties to criminal enterprises swirling around him. As the boxing world watches, Davis's story is becoming less about knockouts and titles and more about a man grappling with the consequences of his choices. Davis's rise to stardom was meteoric. Born and raised in Baltimore, he emerged from a challenging upbringing to become one of boxing's most electrifying talents. His power, speed, and charisma made him a fan favorite, and his association with Mayweather, his former mentor and promoter, gave him a platform to shine. Under Mayweather's guidance, Davis adopted a flamboyant persona, complete with flashy cars, lavish jewelry, and a penchant for controversy. But while his in-ring performances were undeniable, securing world titles in multiple weight classes, his life outside the ring has been marred by legal troubles, from assault charges to a hit-and-run incident that landed him in jail. Now, the discovery of large sums of unregistered cash in his Florida mansion has triggered a federal investigation that could unravel everything he's built. The investigation began to gain traction after a 2023 burglary at Davis's Parkland mansion, which occurred while he was serving time for a 2020 hit-and-run case. The burglary revealed a staggering amount of wealth, exotic cars like a Lamborghini Urus and a Ferrari SF90, along with millions in luxury goods, that raised eyebrows among authorities. The sheer volume of assets, coupled with reports of Davis paying for jewelry with cash not tied to any declared or traceable income, prompted federal agents to dig deeper. Sources close to the investigation suggest that the cash found in Davis's home was not held in secure financial institutions but stashed in ways that raised red flags for potential money laundering. This mode of handling finances, keeping large sums off the books, is a classic indicator of financial misconduct, and the involvement of multiple federal agencies underscores the seriousness of the probe. Davis's legal troubles are not new. In September 2017, an arrest warrant was issued after a childhood friend, Anthony Wheeler, accused him of first-degree aggravated assault, alleging Davis punched him with a gloved fist during an altercation at Upton Boxing Center, resulting in a concussion. The charge was later reduced to second-degree misdemeanor assault, which carries a maximum penalty of 10 years or a $2,500 fine. In March 2021, Davis faced 14 counts related to a serious car crash in Baltimore following his birthday party in November 2020. He was accused of running a red light, crashing his Lamborghini into another vehicle, injuring its occupants, including a pregnant woman, and fleeing the scene. Davis accepted a plea deal in February 2023, pleading guilty to charges including leaving the scene of an accident involving bodily injury and driving on a suspended license. He was sentenced to 90 days of home detention and 3 years of probation, a relatively light punishment that allowed him to continue his career. However, these incidents have painted a picture of a man whose talent is matched only by his propensity for trouble. The current investigation into Davis's finances has drawn comparisons to the legal woes of Floyd Mayweather Jr., whose influence on Davis is undeniable. Mayweather, a boxing legend known for his financial acumen and controversial lifestyle, has faced his own share of legal battles, including recent allegations of involvement in a multimillion-dollar real estate scam. While Mayweather has denied any wrongdoing, claiming his name was used to mislead investors without his knowledge, the timing of these allegations has fueled speculation about the parallels between him and Davis. Fans and analysts alike have begun to wonder whether Davis, who idolized Mayweather and emulated his behavior, may have been drawn into similar financial missteps under his mentor's influence. The messy split between Davis and Mayweather promotions, marked by public disputes over career management, only adds to the narrative of a young fighter struggling to navigate the pressures of fame and wealth. Davis's recent behavior has done little to quell these concerns. His announcement of a potential retirement, followed by cryptic social media posts and erratic media appearances, suggests a man grappling with more than just the demands of boxing. In a now-deleted Instagram Live, Davis hinted at external forces trying to take everything I built, a statement many interpret as a reference to the looming threat of asset seizures. His sudden interest in high-profile non-title fights, such as a proposed exhibition bout against YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul, has raised eyebrows, with insiders suggesting these moves are less about legacy and more about generating quick, cash-heavy paydays with minimal regulatory oversight. The Jake Paul fight, in particular, was seen as an attempt to funnel money through less scrutinized channels, potentially to safeguard his finances amid the federal probe. The proposed bout with Paul, a cruiserweight who fights at 200 pounds compared to Davis's lightweight frame of 130 to 140 pounds, made little sense from a competitive standpoint. Yet, Davis's team was reportedly eager to secure the deal, viewing it as a pay-per-view jackpot that could provide liquidity in the face of potential asset freezes. Exhibition bouts like this often involve complex financial arrangements, shell corporations, cryptocurrency transfers, and international wire movements that allow for greater flexibility in moving funds. However, the plan fell apart after Davis's controversial draw against Lamont Roach in late 2024. Many believed Roach deserved the victory, with a questionable dismissal of a ninth-round knockdown fueling accusations of biased judging. The draw damaged Davis's stock as a top draw, complicating negotiations with Paul's team, who grew wary of his legal and reputational baggage. Paul, ever the savvy marketer, ultimately backed away, citing Davis's unpredictability and the risks of associating with a fighter under such intense scrutiny. The Roach fight itself was a microcosm of Davis's current state. Once known for his devastating knockouts, Davis appeared lackluster, unable to dominate an opponent he was expected to dispatch easily. The draw not only cost him a clean victory but also highlighted the growing perception that his focus has shifted away from the sport. Critics argue that Davis's inner circle, comprising managers, hangers-on, and advisors with questionable priorities, has failed to guide him toward long-term success. Instead, they've enabled a lifestyle of excess and impulsivity, leaving him vulnerable to the legal and financial storms now closing in. Reports of Davis launching side businesses, investing heavily in real estate, and diversifying his income streams suggest a frantic effort to move money before it can be seized, a tactic often seen in cases of impending financial scrutiny. The parallels with Mayweather extend beyond finances. Both fighters have faced accusations of domestic violence and public altercations, tarnishing their public images. Davis's history of assault charges, including the 2017 incident and subsequent allegations, mirrors Mayweather's own legal troubles in this regard. Yet, while Mayweather has managed to maintain his status as a boxing icon, Davis's younger age and less seasoned team leave him more exposed. At 30, he is in his physical prime, but mentally and emotionally, he appears checked out, tired of the sport and bitter about his legacy. His public statements reflect this turmoil, oscillating between defiance and vulnerability. In one interview, he spoke of wanting to retire to focus on therapy and his daughters, expressing a desire to shed the anger that has fueled his career. "I want to be much softer," he said, hinting at a longing for peace that feels increasingly out of reach. The boxing world, meanwhile, is buzzing with speculation about what comes next. A rematch with Lamont Roach is scheduled for August 2025 in Brooklyn, but its fate hinges on the outcome of the ongoing investigation. If charges are filed or Davis's assets are frozen, his ability to compete could be halted long before the bell rings. Promoters and managers are already distancing themselves, wary of being caught in the crossfire of a potential legal fallout. Even Jake Paul, who once seemed eager to capitalize on Davis's star power, has shifted focus to other opponents like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., suggesting that the risks of aligning with Davis outweigh the rewards. The broader implications of Davis's situation are sobering. Boxing has long been a sport where talent and trouble coexist, particularly for fighters from disadvantaged backgrounds who rise quickly to wealth and fame. The proximity of the sport to street politics and underground economies has ensnared many, and Davis's story is a stark reminder of the pitfalls that await those who prioritize money over principle. His natural talent, his explosive power and undeniable charisma, has made him one of the most exciting fighters of his generation, but his failure to surround himself with a team focused on his long-term growth may prove to be his undoing. As federal agents continue to comb through Davis's finances, the boxing world is left to ponder whether this is the end of his fight career or the beginning of his biggest battle yet. A conviction on money laundering or related charges could lead to significant prison time, potentially up to 7 years, and the seizure of his assets would cripple his financial empire. Even if he avoids legal consequences, the damage to his reputation may be irreparable. Fans who once saw him as Baltimore's finest now question whether he can reclaim his narrative and fulfill the promise of his early career. The irony is that Davis's troubles stem not from a lack of talent or opportunity but from the choices he's made and the company he's kept. His idolization of Mayweather, while providing a blueprint for success, may have also led him down a path of recklessness. The cash, the cars, the controversies, all hallmarks of Mayweather's playbook, have become liabilities for Davis, exposing him to scrutiny that his mentor managed to navigate with more finesse. As Showbiz the Adult, a YouTuber and boxing commentator, noted, Davis's hunger for recognition and meaning beyond pay-per-view numbers may be at the root of his erratic behavior. "Money isn't the bill," Showbiz said. "You won't be happy." For Davis, the pursuit of wealth has come at a cost, leaving him to confront not just his opponents in the ring but the consequences of a life lived in the fast lane. With the rematch against Roach looming and federal investigators circling, Davis's future hangs in the balance. A victory could buy him time and restore some of his fading leverage, but a loss or another draw would further erode his standing. More ominously, the specter of indictments and court dates looms large, threatening to redefine his legacy as one of unfulfilled potential. The boxing world, for all its chaos, loves a redemption story, but Davis's path to redemption will require more than just a knockout punch. It will demand accountability, introspection, and a willingness to break free from the patterns that have led him to this moment. For now, the tank keeps rolling, fueled by bravado and desperation, but the road ahead is uncertain, and the stakes have never been higher.